All right, everybody, it's Wednesday, and we finally are back down here on the farm. Got the stumps ground yesterday. They're bringing a local trucking company is bringing me 8 loads of fill dirt today for our big culvert project that we're hopefully going to get to later this week. That's in the back there. And but today and probably tomorrow we're going to be mowing ditches. So let's see what we got. All right, this is not my machine. This is the owner's machine. He's got this little Takeuchi. This is a TB 235-2. It's a 3.5 ton machine, about 24 horse. He bought this Rut Manufacturing brush cutter. I think this is the Brush Slayer. It's a 36-inch brush cutter. There's a review from a couple years ago when I first ran this thing, you know, on my channel about this, likes and dislikes on it. But he has a ton of ditches on this property. I mean, this thing is, it's almost like a canal. They need to be mowed about 1 or 2 times a year. So that's what we're gonna do. It looks like the deer, the deer made a little trail right through there. Probably crossing through here to eat that grass over there. I wonder why they wouldn't just walk down the drive, but I don't know. But yeah, you can see they're pretty grown up. Not the worst I've ever seen them, but they need to be mowed. So I really enjoy running this little Takeuchi. The cab in it is so spacious. It's so comfortable. This is the best cab machine I've ever sat in as far as being like the comfortability, the amenities. It's got Bluetooth. I can just, you know, doing this ditch mowing gets a little bit monotonous, so I kind of just, this is the one time I'll actually kind of turn something, like I'll put on a podcast off my phone on the Bluetooth and just kind of sit back and just mow. But I'm gonna time lapse most of this, but we'll maybe turn on the GoPro inside the machine, do a little commentary too for you guys, and just sit back and enjoy the ride. We're gonna just mow some ditches down. This will probably be pretty satisfying for those that like that kind of content. So let's fire it up and get to mowing. midday check-in. Give you guys a little commentary with this brush cutter. Hope you can hear me. Luckily, this thing is not very loud. It has a, so the MTL XC5 that I've got, the brush cutter on the Kubota that I've got, it has a little bit different hydraulic motor on it than this one. And so this has a gearbox motor. And the MTL XC5 has a direct drive motor. And I like the direct drive motors better than I like these gearbox motors. The gearbox motor is basically kind of like, it's like a right angle drive, similar to how like a bush hog, a PTO would work on a bush hog. So the shaft goes into a motor on the bush hog and then connects to a shaft that it's like a right angle. So the PTO goes in on one side and then makes a 90, and the drive shaft goes down to the blades on the other side. And that's kind of how this thing works, basically. But instead of a PTO drive shaft, it has a hydraulic motor. And it's a lot quieter than that other direct drive motor. But it doesn't spin as fast. It's not as efficient with the speed. So hope you guys can see that. It might be a hair bit torquier. It might have a little bit more torque, but it's definitely not as fast. It doesn't generate the speed. And it's a little slower to recover as well. Even though this is a little bit smaller machine with a little bit less hydraulic power, it should, with the right motor combination, basically be able to generate the same amount of speed that has the correct motor on a direct drive. So if this was direct drive with the proper motor, it would probably generate about the same RPM as the MTL on my machine. So my machine, the Kubota U55 is 47 horse, and this is like 23 or 24. I think this one does 16 gallons a minute, and mine does 20. So a little different, definitely a little different. This thing is not like a mower. It's like almost like a weed eater kind of deal in it. It just works a little bit differently than what you would consider like a standard brush cutter or a mower that you typically see on one of these mini excavators like the XC5. The XC5, the MTL XC5 is what I would consider more of like a traditional style mower brush cutter. This thing is a lot different. It's completely open all the way around it, basically, except on the back. And it just works a little bit differently. It's not very forgiving. Let's just say that. When it comes, you have to be very precise. Otherwise, you can put those blades right into the dirt very easily. But as long as you're pretty precise with it, it does a pretty good job on these ditches. But you've got to be a pretty decent operator to do it. I guess I consider myself decent. I'm not Chris over there at Let's Dig 18, but I'm decent. Looks like we may have some clouds rolling in, and I am not complaining about that. The sun's been beating down on me in the cab of this machine all morning. I'm not complaining about the clouds one bit, as long as it doesn't rain. I don't think it's supposed to, but they've told me no rain before, and well, we get rain. I do enjoy running this Takeuchi 235 out here. It's a very comfortable machine to sit in and run all day. AC works good. The controls are very ergonomical. The seat is great. You can just sit back and relax in this thing, and it's very comfortable. I really, really enjoy. Like, I like my Kubota for what it does, but the cab in it is not great. I will say though, I think Kubota made some upgrades to their cab in the new Dash 5 series that they've got out now. I have a Dash 4, it's an older model. I think mine's a 2014, so it's 9 years old. Takeuchi has really good reach for a machine this size. When I first started running it, I was actually pretty impressed with it. It has really, really good reach. The brush cutter itself, because of the way it's designed, probably adds another foot or so of reach as well. And this thing handles the weight of this brush cutter very well. It doesn't get tippy at all. It handles it very, very well. I'm surprised the ditches aren't worse. I've seen them much, much worse mowing them before. Typically, the first time I ever mowed them, the dog fennel was awful. It was really bad. Now it's mostly just kind of brush and grass and some small gum trees here and there. The owner's been pretty diligent about letting me come down here and mow these ditches about twice a year, and that's really kept them from getting out of hand. The first time I mowed them, they were bad. Pretty much it. We're just working our way down this ditch. You can see how long it is. It goes. So we'll get there. Definitely finish this one today, and hopefully we'll get to a few more of them. Well, that was fun. That ditch is done. And then we had this little part right here to do. Not much. And then that fence right there, going along that way, that's the property line. So yeah, that looks pretty good. That ditch is long. I think the whole thing on that little part on the other side, and then this whole thing and this little bit, I want to say it's like 700 feet or something like that. 600 feet. That's a lot. So let's see, I may have time to go down there. There's one little ditch right down there on the other side of the little pond right here. I may have time to do that, and then we'll go back up to the front. The dump truck driver has not called me, so I guess she didn't get stuck again, luckily, bringing those. She got stuck on the 4th load. I'm getting 8, so we'll go up there and see if she's done, and hopefully we can start moving some dirt tomorrow. Okay, got my 8 loads of fill dirt dropped off. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8. That should be enough dirt to do our culvert crossing back there. And if I've got any extra, he's got so many mud holes out here in this place that we can put this stuff in. It's not even funny. So having a bit extra, I hope I do have 1 or 2 loads extra left over. That would be great. I could really do some damage on some of the mud holes he's got back there. We're gonna have to fill one in at least, just to be able to get the dump truck to where it needs to go. And of course it looks like it's gonna rain. More rain. But got the big ditch all along there mowed. Got my 8 loads in. I am gonna need some of this slag and some riprap, but I don't know exactly how much I'm gonna need yet. I need to get the bridge built, and then we'll do some measurements, and I don't know if I'll get to that this week or not. It just depends on how much dirt we can get moved tomorrow. I'm gonna pick up the skid steer in the morning, and we'll bring it. We're gonna grab a bucket too from Herc for the next few days, and start moving some dirt. So stay tuned for tomorrow. We had a good day of mowing out here, got a lot done. Figured I'd do that while they were bringing dirt and just have all that stockpiled, and I could mow the ditches while they were doing that, and that worked well. So all right, I'm heading out. I will be back tomorrow. Check you guys later. Bye everybody.